Hello, a 2-minute video. I tried to do this earlier, this video. I've been trying to do this video since 11 o'clock yesterday now. It is now 12:12. The video is yet again another Madonna Crockett prediction video. Unfortunately, I'm doing it on the actual day now. So the prediction is for 12:12. And I'm just going to do 2 references. Actually, I might do 3 references because I want this to be pretty quick. So check this out, right? August the 16th. The reason why I'm showing you this number jump here, which is 121, okay, which if you read that to the center of that number would be 1212, okay, is because of this date here. This is my next date that I'm going to look at for the Hoover Dam, or at least I've already looked at it. I've got a whole bunch of stuff, and I'm going to do a video on it. But the 15th of December, okay. Now, this ties into a whole bunch of stuff. But the idea is, with Madonna, is that she has to croak before, you know, the old hag has to croak before man can be reborn or Christ can be reborn, right? So the reference to this date here with the 121, okay, which I'm interpreting as a 1212, links us to this date here. This is a day after George Washington dies on the 14th of December, okay? So the following day, again, the man has to also die, or there has to be a ritualistic death in terms of the death of the ego. You have to let go of that false identity in order to be reborn, right? Whichever way you want to look at it, there has to be some form of a death in order to have rebirth, okay? And so the 14th of December, obviously his face is on the dollar bill. Obviously we can use his, you know, stats, if you like, and we can assume that if he dies on the 14th, then he has to be reborn on the 15th, yeah, the next day, okay? Obviously there's that 125 reference at the bottom of the dollar bill as well, but I don't want to spend a whole bunch of time waffling on here. And again, with the idea of the Hoover Dam breaking and man being reborn, obviously a set of numbers to reference in that potential event would be 1225, yeah. So if we were to look at, now I've said this before quite a few times, is that Madonna, if you remember Back to the Future, the train that goes over the cliff goes into the ravine, okay, that train has the number 131 on it, okay, and I've said that would represent, you know, the Matrix. That would be the same as Madonna, okay. Let's put 131 from Madonna's birthday, and let's see where that takes us, okay. Look at that, the 25th of December, okay. So this starts to become very, very interesting, to say the least, especially if we take the 25th of December now, because don't forget, Washington is born on the cusp of the changeover with the calendar, yeah. So he's born on that cusp, right? So if we look at the change between the 25th of December that we use now for Christmas, if we go back to the Julian date, okay, if we transfer back, it's 12/12, December the 12th. So again, with this idea of Madonna being the Mother Mary, yeah, the Virgin Mary, 12/12 looks like a good reference back to the 25th, to the birth of Christ, yeah. So all interesting stuff. I've got a whole bunch more stuff to follow on this, on the connections here. One of the big connections is the scene in GoldenEye, and there is a number jump in that scene. Let me show you very quickly. Again, this train in GoldenEye, check out the colours, the same colours as the train in Back to the Future 3. Okay. Again, there's a fireball right at the start of it as it's going to go into trying to go into the tunnel, but Bond shoots the shell at it from the tank. And you remember that tank scene? The tank scene is super important because there's a reference right before that scene starts to Boys and Toys, and at the end of this scene as well, there's a reference to Boys and Toys. Both the female and male character, which is Bond, and the other girl, I can't remember what her name is now, Natalia maybe, or something like that, I can't remember. They both mention Boys and Toys, okay, and Boy Toy is Madonna's little logo thing, company caption. I don't know what the hell it is, but it's something to do with Madonna anyway. And if you go to like a Virgin, there's a wedding dress in there where she's wearing the Boy Toy belt buckle, or at least there's pictures of that dress in subsequent images that show that Boy Toy reference, and it happened. It's in other Madonna things as well, but it's a Madonna reference right at the start of this scene, or during this scene. I don't know if I can actually click on. I don't really want to waste any more time on this, to be quite honest. I just want to. But there's this tunnel here, right? And on the tunnel is a number, and it's 247. And that 247. I'm going to do a video on it a bit more depth, but 247 not only points to this year in terms of Pluto return date, because there's a lot of people looking for a 248 Pluto return date for 2024. All I'm going to say for right now is that 247, you can actually get to a 247 orbit. I've managed to do it. It might be completely wrong, but anyway. So I've got to a 247 Pluto orbit, which would point to this year. Okay, that's all I'm going to say about that. But that 247 is there at the start, at the top of this tunnel here. And if we do a number jump with 247, I want to show you two things real quick. If we go one way with 247, okay, we're getting to the 20th of April. That's one day off of the Queen's birthday. And if we do a negative 247 now, okay, we're at 12/12, okay. And there's, again, if we go to the chart of rain, hopefully I haven't got a bunch of scribble in here. Yes, I do. Let me get rid of all this, and let me just tell you two things, okay, because, you know, this number 11 here, you know, here's the Queen's death date, okay. Okay, so now we're looking at the number 12 of Madonna, okay, and this 144, okay. Again, 144, and actually this 012, this number here as well also references again back to several things, but the actual number 12 itself is actually a moon reference as well, because it's the number of moons that we have that when it's reconciled with the sun. Okay, so that's why we have 12 months in a year, is because the moon has been balanced in with the sun, or at least is adhering to the cycle of the sun at that point. So this 12 is important with the moon. But I'm getting sidetracked. Of course, this first number you come to is 144, and 144, obviously 12 12s is 144. If you were to start a row on 12 here and come all the way through to the 12th column here, okay, so 12 12 reference, guess what the number you get is? It's 12 12. Now, if there was a number that was going to be in this table that would have a perfect cross-reference, it's the number 12. Okay, and that of course is the completion of the physical side of reality. Okay, so 10 of course is to do with the metaphysical completion, and 12 would be to do with the physical completion. So this becomes very interesting, this 12-12 stuff. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to leave the video there for now. Okay, because there's so much more to this, and I really don't want to waffle on for several hours. But obviously, there's huge tiebacks to Washington with this. There's huge tieback to the 15th of December. Obviously, we would be 4 days inclusive before that. Very nice for the Lazarus type rebirth. It is very interesting anyway. I'm going to leave it there for this one, and what I'll do is if something happens, I will probably expand upon this a little bit more. If something doesn't happen, I might not bother. Okay, but I do want to do a video on the 15th of December as well for the potential Hoover Dam thing. So, I'll probably end up talking about some of this stuff again anyway. So, I hope you enjoyed that. And that's just kind of a little teaser. There's a whole bunch more connections with this. There's a whole bunch more connections in the table and everything else. But, I want to keep it fairly short and simple. Alright, I'll catch you on another one here soon. Alright, cheers, bye.